Hello, welcome to Anshika's Academy. This is the chapter number 11 of Tamil Nadu Board History 12th class, The Great Revolt of 1857. There are mainly 6 topics in this chapter that we will cover in this video. Chapter number Topic number 1, the nature of the Great Revolt of 1857. Second, the underlying causes of the revolt. Third, the immediate cause of the outbreak of revolt. Fourth, the course of the revolt. 5, the causes for the failure of the revolt, effects of the revolt. The 1857 revolt showed the seeds of the Indian nationalism which lay dormant in the subconscious of the Indian people. It started the movement which was a continuous struggle against the British rule till 1947. Hence, the nature, character, and causes of this revolt of 1857 should be studied in order to understand the subsequent events. Nature of the revolt. The historical writings of the British scholars underplayed the character of the revolt of 1857. Sir John Lawrence was of the opinion that the revolt was purely a military outbreak and not a conspiracy to overthrow British rule. On the other hand, the revolt of 1857 is hailed by the Indian scholar, especially by the V.D. Savarkar, as the first war of Indian independence. The two distinguished Indian historians R.C. Majumdar and Hassan Sain have analyzed the revolt of 1857 in depth. The two scholars differ in their opinion. Hassan Sain believes that the 1857 revolt was part of the struggle for Indian independence. R.C. Majumdar maintains that the outbreak before 1857, whether civil or military, were series of isolated incidents ultimately culminated in the Great Revolt of 1857. Causes of the revolt. Political causes. The discontent. The discontent and dissatisfaction manifested in the form of revolts against the British government were not confined to the ruling chiefs and royal families alone. On the contrary, the British rule was disliked by the people at large in any region with it. When it was newly introduced, anti-British feelings were particularly strong in those regions like Burma, Assam, Kurg, Sindh, and the Punjab, which were unjustly annexed to the British Empire. The doctrine of leaves, particularly its practical application by Lord Dalhousie, produced grave discontent and alarm among the native princes who were directly affected. Economic causes. The huge drain of wealth, the destruction of its industry, and increasing land revenue had become the common features of the later half of the 18th century. The East India Company, after attaining political power, used it to fund the growth of British trade and commerce at the cost of Indians. The British damaged the Indian trade and manufacture by imposing a high tariff in British against Indian goods and by encouraging all means that import of British goods to India. In England, the ruin of the old handloom weavers was accompanied by the growth of the machine industry, but in India, the ruin of millions of artisans and craftsmen was not accompanied by any alternative growth of new industrial reforms. A new plantation system introduced in the year 1833 a new plantation system introduced in the year 1833 resulted in in incalculable misery for the Indian peasants. This was the result of per- permitting Englishmen to acquire land plantation in India. The hard hit were the peasant on the indigo plantations in Bengal and Bihar. Social causes. The Englishmen showed an arrogant attitude towards the Indians. Discriminate assaults on Indians by Englishmen became quite common. Also, a general alarm was raised among the Hindus and Muslims by the chief activities of the Christian missionaries. The educational institutions established by the missionaries inculcated Western education and culture in the place of Oriental learning. The native population felt that they were losing their social identity. Military causes. Discontent against the British Raj was widely prevalent among the Indian soldiers in the British Army. The Indian opposed in the British Indian Army nursed a sense of strong resentment in their low salary and poor prospects of promotion. The British military officers at times showed least respect to the social values and religious sentiments of Indian sepoys in the army. Thus, although generally faithful to their masters, The sepoys were provoked the revolt. The sepoys were provoked to revolt. The Vellore Mutiny of 1806, a precursor to the 1857 Great Revolt, was the outcome of such tendencies on the part of the military authorities. Another important cause of the sepoys' dissatisfaction was the order that abolished the foreign allowances or batta when they served foreign territories. Thus, the discontent was widespread, and there was an undercurrent before the volcanic situation of 1857. All that needed was only a spark to set it afire, the beginning of the revolt. The 1857 revolt was sparked off by the episodes of Greece Carthagist. The new Enfield rifle. The new Enfield rifle had been introduced for the first time in the Indian Army. Its cartridge had greased paper-covered hose and had to be bitten off before the cartridge was loaded into the rifle. The grease was composed of the fat taken from beef or pig. The religious feelings of the Hindu and Muslim sepoys were terribly wounded. The sepoys believed that the government was deliberately trying to destroy their religious and cultural identity as they raised the banner of revolt. The events that led to the revolt began in 29th March 1857 at the Barakpur Mangal Pandey. Sepoy refused to use its greased cartridge and single-handedly attacked and killed his officer. Mangal Pandey was hanged. The regiment to which he belonged was disbanded, and guiltily sepoys guilty of rebellion punished. The British, instead of diffusing the explosive situation, paved the way for a military crisis. By the above act, the chain reaction was set in motion at Meerut in May 1857 and in Meerut in May 1857, 85 sepoys of the 3rd Cavalry Regiment were sentenced to long terms of imprisonment for refusing to use the greased cartridge. Therefore, on the May 10 May, the sepoys broke out upon rebellion, shot their officers, released their fellow sepoys, and headed towards Delhi. General Havitt, the officer commanding at Meerut, was helpless to prevent the army's march. Next morning, the rebellious army reached Delhi. The city of Delhi fell into the hands of the rebellious soldiers on 12 May 1857. Lieutenant Will, tasked by the officer in charge of Delhi, could not prevent the mutineers. Soon the mutineers proclaimed the aged nominal king. Bahadur Shah II of the Mughal dynasty is the emperor of India. But very soon the rebellion spread throughout northern and central India at Lucknow, Allahabad, Kanpur, Banaras, in the parts of Bihar, Jhansi, and other places. Delhi. The leadership at Delhi was nominally in the hands of Bahadur Shah, but the real control was exercised by the General Bakt Khan. On the side of British, the combined efforts of Nicholson, Wilson, Bayard Smith, and Neville Chamberlain enabled the recaptured Delhi by September 1857. In Delhi, Emperor Bahadur Shah II was arrested and deported to Rangoon, where he retained in exile till he died in 1862. Kanpur. At Kanpur, the revolt was led by Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Bajirao II. The last Peshwa, Nana Sahib, expelled the English from Kanpur with the help of sepoys and proclaimed himself the Peshwa. Nana Sahib, in his efforts against the British, was ably supported by two of his lieutenants. One was Tatya Tope, the other was Ajimullah. Sir Hugh Wheeler, and commander of the British garrison at Kanpur, surrendered on the 27th June 1857, but soon Kanpur was recaptured by the British commander Sir Colin Campbell. Lucknow. The principal person responsible for the revolt in Lucknow was the Begum of Awadh. With the assistance of the sepoys, the zamindars, and peasants, the Begum organized an all-out attack on the British. Henry Lawrence, the chief commissioner, tried to defend the British. Lawrence was killed in a bomb blast during the fight. The final relief for the British forces in Lucknow came in the form of the Sir Colin Campbell, who suppressed the revolt. Jhansi. Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi, the widowed queen of Gangadhar Rao, played a heroic role in this revolt. Rani Lakshmibai was affected by Dalhousie's doctrine of lapse, was joined by Tatya Tope. The combined efforts of Rani and Tatya Tope saw the capture of Kaler. Meanwhile, Sir Hughes Rose defeated Tatya Tope and stormed Jhansi on 3 अप्रैल 1858। He then captured Gwalior. The Rani of Jhansi died as soldier's street on 17 June 1858. Dada Tope was captured and hanged on the charges of rebellion and murder in the massacre of Kanpur, Bihar. Kuwar Singh, a ruined and discontented zamindar of Jagdishpur near Awadh, was the chief organizer of the revolt in Bihar. He fought the British in Bihar. Kuwar Singh sustained a fatal wound in the battle and died in 17 April and died on 27 April 1858 at Jagdishpur. Ultimately, the 1857 revolt came to an end with the victory of the British. Viceroy Canning proclaimed peace throughout the India. Causes for the failure of the revolt. The first and foremost cause was that the revolt failed to embrace the whole of India. Different sections of society, such as moneylenders, merchants, and modern educated Indians, were actually against the revolt. The lack of interest shown by the intellectuals in the movement was a serious setback. The resources of the British Empire were far superior to those of the rebels. Similarly, the insurgents lacked a carefully concerted general plan or a strong central organization to plan the movements of the army and overseas their strategy. On the other hand, the British possessed better equipment. In addition, the British were aided by new scientific inventions such as the telegraph system and postal communications. This enabled the British to keep in touch with all parts of the country and maneuvers their troops according to their needs. All the said factors combined to cause the defeat of the rebels of 1857 revolt and ended in the victory for the British. Significance and effects of the mutiny. The revolt of 1857, though completely suppressed, had shaken the very foundations of British rule in India for the simple reason that the revolt exhibited the popular character. It brought together the disgruntled sections of society to rise against the British rule. The common people rose up in arms, often fighting with the spears and axes, bows and arrows, lathis and seats and the crude mulcades. However, this civilian revolt was not universal but sporadic and inconsistent. Nevertheless, it added a new dimensions to the character of 1857 revolt. Another significant aspect of the 1857 revolt was the Hindu-Muslim unity. As far as the effects of revolt are concerned, it brought about fundamental changes in the character of Indian administration, which was transferred from the East India Company to the Crown by the Queen's proclamation of 1 November 1858. At the same time, the Governor General received the new title of Viceroy. Lord Canning had the unique opportunity to become the Governor General as well as the first Viceroy, according to the Act of 1858. Lord Canning proclaimed the new government at Allahabad on 1 November 1858 in accordance with the Queen's proclamation. The latter has been called the Magna Carta of the Indian people. It disclaimed any extension of territory, promised religious toleration, guaranteed the rights of Indian princes, and placed equal treatment to her subject Indians and Europeans. The revolt of 1857 ended an era and showed the seeds of a new one. The year 1857 is a great divide between the two landmarks in Indian history. One was that of British paramountcy in the first half, and the other is that of the growth of Indian nationalism in the second half of the 19th century. Places where the Great Revolt of 1857 was victorious. ये है खैरपुर, बहावलपुर, दिल्ली, अजमेर, ग्वालियर, झांसी. Learning outcomes of this chapter are: there are two views in the nature of Great Revolt of 1857. The fundamental causes are varied, such as political, economic, and social, military. The immediate cause was the personal grievance of the sepoys. The causes of revolt were not universal but sporadic, with scattered civilian participation. The British, with their superior strength, suppressed the revolt. The suppression of the revolt has revealed the weaknesses of the Indian sepoys and leaders of the revolt. The result and the importance of the revolt of 1857. Thanks for watching again.